What did you say? Natasha knitted her brows. Didn't you hear me? I said, take off your clothes. Jailer repeated with her voice raised. Don't you go overboard. Natasha's expression was cold. How could she possibly remove her clothes in public? That was extremely humiliating for her. So what if I do? Jailer sneered. I hold something over you right now, and you got no choice but to listen to me. This was the reason she sent Hector to jail, demeaning Natasha. Jailer muttered inwardly, this is the price to pay for refusing to get married into the Grant family. She needed to make Natasha suffer in order to vent her anger. Jailer, you'd better not overstep the line, Natasha said in a deep voice. Natasha, haven't you figured out what the current situation is? Jailer laughed wildly. You're in my territory. Whatever happens to you depends on me. Hurry up and take off your clothes. Take off. Take off. The masked guests began to shout in excitement, and most of them were under the influence. It looks like there's nothing for us to discuss. I'm leaving now. Natasha turned around to leave, not intending to waste her time anymore. Jailer was obviously giving her a hard time on purpose. Stop right there. Did I say you could leave? Jailer shouted. Right then, two female bodyguards stepped forward and blocked Natasha's way. Do you think that I came alone? Natasha turned around, her face darkened. Natasha knew there would be danger, so she brought a group of shadow guards with her when she left the house. Of course, I knew you came here prepared. But sadly, it's useless. As Jailer spoke, she clapped her hands. Soon, a group of formidable masked guards walked in, dragging a few corpses with them. When Natasha took a closer look, her expression changed in an instant. They were her shadow guards. Are you surprised? Jailer laughed mockingly. Your shadow guards are dead. You are on your own now, and I can do whatever I want to you. Jailer, do you know what you're doing? Having blatantly killed the Harmon's shadow guards was no longer just a simple provocation, but a war declaration. Stop making much ado about nothing. It's going to be your turn soon. Jailer shot her a cold smirk and gestured to the guards. Guards, hold her down. The two female bodyguards obeyed and immediately restrained Natasha from moving around. Since you aren't willing to strip off, let me help you, then. Suddenly, Jailer stretched out her hands and ripped Natasha's coat into pieces, exposing her black bra. What huge breasts you have, bitch. No wonder so many men like you. When Jailer saw how busty Natasha was, a hint of jealousy flashed across her eyes. Not only was Natasha beautiful, but her body figure was also sumptuous. She's indeed a temptress, Jailer thought. Jailer, you'd better not do anything absurd. Natasha shouted. So what if I do? Haven't you been using your good looks to your advantage? Today I'm going to destroy your face and see how you're going to live in the future. With an evil smile, Jailer took out a knife and scratched Natasha's fair and delicate face fiercely. Natasha groaned in pain, breaking out in a cold sweat. Bitch, this is the consequence of rejecting the Grant family. Since you aren't willing to get married to Tyler, I'm going to ruin you today. Clenching her teeth, Jailer chewed Natasha up while scratching the latter's face mercilessly. Ah! With an ear-piercing wail, Natasha finally passed out due to extreme pain. Her beautiful face was now covered in fresh blood. It was a ghastly sight. That was fast, but I haven't had enough fun yet. Jailer smiled evilly. Strip off her clothes and hang her up. Yes. The two female bodyguards obeyed and immediately removed Natasha's clothes until she was only left with her underwear. Then, they hung her in the middle of the dance floor and poured a bucket of icy water down her head. Natasha shuddered, gradually regaining consciousness. Natasha, haven't you been acting noble and virtuous all the while? Today I'm going to show you what it feels like to be humiliated. Jailer continued, see these people around? They'll be accompanying you tonight. I'm going to take a video of the whole process and send it to your boyfriend for him to enjoy. You monster. Natasha gritted her teeth, her eyes reddening. Go ahead and curse me as much as you want. Jailer sneered and turned around to look at the masked men below the stage. Everyone, I'm sure you have heard of how pretty the daughter of the Harmon family is. Her face is disfigured now, but her body is still flawless. Anyone here wants to take her back to be your servant? Me. No, me. Damn it. She's mine. Don't you try to fight for her with me. Overwhelmed by excitement, the men began to fight over Natasha. They, of course, knew what a beauty she was. Hence, how could they possibly give up on the chance of messing with their goddess, who was known to be out of their league? Well, since so many of you are interested, whoever pays the highest price will have the opportunity to have her as your servant. Jailer offered with a smile. I'll go first. $1 million. A man with a sheep face mask raised his hand. 1 million only? I'm giving 5 million, said another man who had a cow face mask on. $8 million from me. 10 million. The men shouted one after another, and the price kept getting higher and higher. They were all from wealthy families. What they lacked wasn't money, but excitement in their lives. As long as they could buy excitement, they were willing to spend a fortune on it. You. Natasha was filled with resentment. The sheep-masked man suddenly shouted, 50 million. Right then, the crowd quieted down in an instant. $50 million wasn't a small amount. Since the man was willing to pay such a high price for something, he shouldn't be underestimated. Pointing to the sheep-masked man, Jailer said, well, it looks like that's the highest price for now. In that case, you are going to be the first. Then, she continued, as for the rest, queue up for your turns. As soon as she said that, the crowd erupted in cheers. Spending $50 million to make such a sumptuous woman my servant is simply worth it. The sheep-masked man sized Natasha's sexy body up with his lascivious eyes. I'm warning you, don't do anything nonsensical. Otherwise, the Harmons won't let you go. Natasha squeezed out the words through her gritted teeth. Well, at least I won't leave the world with regrets. Moreover, you don't even know who I am, the man said. The ones under the stage egged the man on. Natasha fell into utter despair. She kept struggling to break free but to no avail. Other than watching the man get closer to her, there was nothing else that she could do. Here I come, beauty. The sheep-masked man laughed loudly and pounced on Natasha. Stop. Right then, a thunderous, angry shout rang out.